Well, it's an interesting question about what do you do after I get out of high school? Do I go to film school, or do I try and go and PA on a show and kind of figure out what the School of Hard Knocks? Um, I, I, I like the way I like the road that I traveled, which is basically I got into school. However, I wasn't into film. I was going to be a doctor. So as an end result, I went to work for my junior year for the Osmond Studios for Donnie and Marie, and I found that 16, 18 hours worth of study versus really getting into the entertainment business or something. I found that I really liked it, really enjoyed it, loved it. Versus, I felt my job of trying to get in med school was more of a task. And much to my parents' chagrin, I chose the entertainment business. And so the one thing, though, is that I got an education. And then I decided, I was fortunate enough that midway through that education process, I made a major decision, which was, okay, I want to do the entertainment business. In my senior year, I was about to take my MedCats. And so my advice is get an education to anyone. Go to college, get an education if you can. But if there's any way to do an internship or go work as a PA or something like that during the summer, or if you have an opportunity, I'd almost defer school for a year if you were able to get on a picture. Simply because you come out of that process knowing really what everyone does and what you want to do. A lot of people say, oh, I want to be in your business, but they don't know what they want to do. And half the thing that turns people off in the business is, okay, someone wants to be in the movie business, but they don't know what they want to do. So for a high school kid, I was fortunate enough after I got into it to eventually get into the Directors Guild training program, which is for anyone who has personality and smarts and can work well with others. It's a slam dunk towards getting a job on a consistent basis. It really is, because people like you, they like your personality, you'll keep on going. And in the Directors Guild training program, you just meet people along the way. Even though you're a trainee, you meet other assistant directors, and if you're fortunate enough to work with the best, which I was, then what happens if they like you, then they will keep on moving you up. So I'm sort of an ideal path road I got an education, I got into the Directors Guild training program, then I kept on going. It usually doesn't work that way. So my suggestion is get the degree, and then whatever that degree is, because there are writers who are English majors. My eventual degree was psychology with an emphasis in organizational behavior. So this was kind of like this was my forte, in the sense that, okay, how to interview, how to deal with people. It worked well for me. But that's what I would say. If you get a chance, work for free, work as a PA, and above all else, be persistent. You can't be the producer on the first go, but it's important for you to know what everyone does, because you'll find that you want to be a producer, then you realize, well, producers have some control, but it seems like that guy, the director, seems to have all the control. So that might be something for you guys who are control freaks out there. But for others, you might be just a cameraman. It's a wonderful position. It's a wonderful job. Again, especially if you get along well with others, because you're going to be working with tough directors sometimes. But it's great to see your lighting style up there on the big screen. So there's a lot of avenues. It's just that the word persistence seems to be the most maintained. It's a freelance market, so you don't always have a job every single day. You have a job for the length of a film if you're a PA, which may be 3 or 4 months. Then you're wondering the last 2 weeks, okay, what am I going to do? So I would say get an education. I'm being redundant. Get an education. If you have opportunity, go out there and knock on doors to get in. Even if you can't get in, I'm sure you always know somebody who can get you on a set. I've done that with a lot of people who have called me, friends obviously, whose sons and daughters are now wanting to make a decision. I've said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll get you on a set. They can observe for 24, however long, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They don't have to do anything. And they've taken advantage, some have taken advantage of this. That's not for a blanket, by the way. That's not a blanket invitation, but some people have actually had their kids on the set, and they've come back and emailed me and said, fantastic, what I wanted to do originally, it's not, now that I look at what they do, maybe that's not what I want to do. So they've gone back with a set of open eyes.